not even moving your legs.
You're not even moving your legs.
Oh, I'm standing on it.
Next exercise is my favorite because it works pretty much everything. It works your legs, your arms, your back, your obliques.
All right, take it in and out. You have in, good, and squeeze. Nice. Your muscle is significantly bigger than when we started this.
It is.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't think they understand how gravity works.
Yeah. Isn't that enough that I'm standing on my legs?
That's like 1 calorie every minute.
Exactly.
Can you just appreciate all the energy I'm spending?
The shape of the missile top has nothing to do with aerodynamics. It is about the payload delivery. No, it sticks in the ground and then kaboom.
Yeah, the film show.
Make it pointy. Yeah, that's how I like it.
So the definition of payload is everything else but the rocket
اسم اون
itself.
دانشمندش چی بود؟
I really don't remember.
نوکلیر نادال. بریم یه ویدیوی خیلی جذاب رو با هم دیگه ببینیم. طرفدارای سگانه بتمن دارک نایت قطعا خوشتون میاد.
They say the world runs on order, but me, I prefer a little chaos with a full tank of gas. Fast, loud, and dangerous. Just how I like it.
اینا رو گذاشتن توی موشک، فرستادن بالا، 5 دقیقه موندن و بعد برشون گردوندن پایین. و وقتی که اینا رسیدن پایین، کیتی پری زمین رو ماچ کرد. Can you fucking believe this?
All it takes to become an astronaut.
کار دنیا به کجا رسیده واقعا.
Yeah, absolutely.
What has the world come to? We all know what Amazon is. We all know who the owner is. And one of those ladies, she's actually Jeff Bezos' wife. You put him in a rocket, put him in space for like 5 minutes, floating around in zero gravity, and bam, they're astronauts.
Girls' night out, I guess. That's
Exactly.
what we can call it.
That's all it takes. It's girls' night out.
Girls'
In
night out.
space, actually.
Jeff, listen, I'm bored. Can I just go into space with a couple of friends, please? Like, how much does it take?
That is a serious possibility, I'm telling you.
No,
I'm telling you.
I'm being serious also.
Yeah, تا الان رفته بهش گفته که من دیگه خسته شدم جف. یا مثلا منو میفرستی توی موشک یا مثلا من دوباره جدا میشم نصف اموال تو دوباره.
It's not my thing anymore.
You want to go to Tokyo or something? نه من زمین رو نیستم جف، میدونی من.
جف من جدیدن زمین رو نیستم دیگه بریم یه اسپیسمون نشه جف. Anyway, so apparently all it takes to become an astronaut these days is being rich, being famous, and being available on a Saturday. Forget about years of engineering, forget about years of extensive training, surviving simulations, everything. Forget about being like the brightest person in the room, forget about being intelligent.
There was a time when astronaut meant something, right?
Exactly, there was a time when it meant something.
موضوع وقتی پیچیده میشه یا وقتی این همه کامنت منفی میاد سراغش که میاد پایین به جای که بگه it was fun.
They truly believe they've become astronauts in like 5 minutes. It's not fair to all those people, men and women.
So you guys do let us know what you think about this in the comment section. Do you think spending time in space for like a few minutes will actually make you an astronaut?
I guess nobody agrees with this
Nobody
agrees with this crazy idea. This is
it is a crazy idea. So talk about NASA's training process. Years and years of extensive training. Like the kind of hardships they go through, and all of a sudden these and the thing that bugs me is no one knows about who the real astronauts are. Parm's got a few names.
Yeah, I've got a few names.
Yeah.
The first one is Yasamana Mokhbeli. I'm going to read it from my notes because I couldn't memorize all the information. She is a US Marine Corps test pilot with over 150 combat missions. And she knows Russian.
Isn't that something?
It is something.
Russian is a really difficult language.
Actually, in order to be an astronaut, you need to know Russian. You got to go to Russia, Kazakhstan, and you get launched into space by a Soyuz rocket.
This whole thing began when she accepted the idea that she's an astronaut. Otherwise, nobody had any issues with a couple of like rich people spending like $500,000 to go up into space. Like, rich people do a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah?
Lots of crazy stuff.
We don't care about that.
Yeah, we don't care.
So the only thing they did, and the only thing they're very good at, is increasing their carbon footprint. And imagine sending a rocket into space for like 5 minutes and then back on Earth, imagine the amount of carbon dioxide they generated.
Just for a PR move.
Exactly, to put up a show. They put up a show.
That's why Katy Perry was there. There were a lot of other like candidates who could go to space and have more significant stuff to say, right? Mm-hmm. To have a better understanding of what they experienced. But these sort of stereotypes, like or typical sentences like we're not just taking space, we're making space. Are you kidding me?
Making space. ببین اونجایی که وقتی رسیدن زمین رو بوسید دیگه کارو تموم کرد. She sealed the deal.
Like you spent 5 minutes up there.
واقعا خودت باورت شده که استرونات شدی و برمیگردی زمین رو میبوسی.
ببین در مقایسه با یه سری استرونات ها مثل پگی ویتسون. She spent 2 years up there. Come on.
Yeah.
Why do you kiss the ground?
اصلا apples and oranges اصلا قابل مقایسه نیست. آدم‌های ارزشمند، کسایی که انواع و اقسام توان‌ها و مهارت‌های مهندسی رو دارن، extensive trainings رو می‌گذرونن، سال‌ها تلاش می‌کنن و واقعاً
basic training to go to space it takes up to 2 years, right? To get to know the ISS system and everything else, Russian language and all the training that we talked about. But if you were assigned to a specific mission, it could take up to 5 years. But all it took for these people were 2 days of training on like how to go around with zero G's and stuff.
They just experienced zero gravity, weightlessness, like.
So let's come up with a better name. Let's come up with a proper name for these people. They are space tourists. They're not astronauts. They don't know anything about being an astronaut. They don't have what it takes to become an astronaut.
Call it what it is.
They just pay for an adventure.
$500,000.
$500,000.
For leisure.
Up to $500,000.
If you have $500,000 to spare, why couldn't Katy Perry be happy with what she has already achieved?
Yeah, talk about how to sing. Talk about how to...
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting married to Orlando Bloom.
So getting married to Orlando Bloom is a kind of achievement?
That is her biggest achievement, in my opinion. So just be happy with it, sister. Come on.
Like, with all fairness, I would say it's okay for Katy Perry to preach how to sing, right? To, I don't know, how to preserve the health of your skin and everything, but when it comes to space...
Is that an achievement to preserve your skin?
No. I mean, we would listen to her if she talks about these sort of stuff, right? Like, she may make sense when it comes to those sort of topics, but space? Not your own.
It's not her business.
So, stick with your achievement, girl.
Yeah.
Just stick with that, be happy with that, and don't do anything crazy.
It was truly disrespectful.
It is. So why do you think people are mad? Because I've seen so many different footages on YouTube, everywhere. People are talking about how stupid it is because the word astronaut used to mean something. It used to mean something. Buzz Aldrin, he was an astronaut. Yasaman Moghbeli is an astronaut.
Had some weight to it.
It had some weight to it, exactly. It was a big word. It was such a big word. مثلا میمونه که مثلا تو توی فیلم دوزاری شونه تخم مرغی یه نقش 10 دقیقه‌ای بهت بدم و بعد بری سری توی پروفایل اینستاگرامت بزنی، توی سوشال میدیا بزنی actor or actress. It's just as crazy as that.
خالی از معنی میشه دیگه.
خالی از معنی میشه. خب این روزا
خالی از معنی میکنه.
سوشال میدیا هم که این روزا کمک کرده دقیقاً به همچین چیزی. دقیقاً یاد ویدیوی کیم کارداشیان میندازه که she was like doing this and she said, "Yeah, it works your arms. It works your legs too."
Next exercise is my favorite because it works pretty much everything. It works your legs, your arms, your back, your obliques.
Yep, and that's why I did it for Kim. So you're going to start with that move we did in the warm-up. Turn the wrists so they're open. And what are your favorite things to do?
Biceps.
Yeah, she said that sincerely. All right, take it in and out. You have in, good, and squeeze. Nice. Squeeze. Your muscle is significantly bigger than when we started this.
It is.
3, you're working them, right?
I'm working them.
Good, we're going to combine down and up. Down, up, in.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't think they understand how gravity works. The best part is she says this one's so good it works your legs. I mean, this is not going to work your biceps.
You're not even moving your legs.
You're not even moving your legs.
Oh, I'm standing on it.
Yeah. Isn't that enough that I'm standing on my legs?
That's like 1 calorie every minute.
Exactly.
Can you just appreciate all the energy I'm spending?
So being an astronaut is like, it's not like wearing a Halloween costume, guys. It's like going to a hospital and claiming that you're a doctor because you have watched the entire series of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I can claim that. I've watched the whole series like 3 times.
Of course, because of the hot...
Thank you, doctor.
Because of the hot doctors. Who
I'm
doesn't?
a surgeon now.
Who doesn't? Everybody loves Grey's Anatomy, but you're not supposed to claim that you're a doctor after you're done with the show. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, خب پس astronaut, space tourist. There's a difference here.
Yeah.
So we talked about the difference. We already talked about the difference. All right, so suborbital?
A flight that reaches space but doesn't have enough speed to remain in orbit. They just go up and float and then come down.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
down you
for
go.
A couple of minutes and then down you go. Exactly. Zero gravity.
So when you go up into space, you experience zero gravity.
Yeah.
So that's actually 0G, right? So you float and you get some training for it. That's what you go through.
Yeah.
This
When you experience zero
floating
gravity.
feeling of weightlessness. Something.
But let me tell you,
that's the best part. I
when they're launched into space, they experience 3 Gs.
3 Gs, yeah.
It means something, but still it's not too much.
Experienced fighter jet pilots do tend to go through up to 9 to 10 Gs, and that's a lot. Top Gun Maverick, definitely watch it. That's a lot.
That is
All right.
too much.
So re-entry.
So they go up into space and they re-enter the atmosphere, right? That's their re-entry. That is how it's defined.
Let me talk about this. MIRV, or Multiple Independently Targetable or Targeted Re-entry Vehicles. توی موشک‌های بالستیک، اون مدل‌های پیشرفته، وقتی که کلاهک جنگی داره فرود میاد، این باز میشه و تبدیل میشه به چند تا وارهد دیگه یا re-entry vehicle. و هر کدوم از اینا میتونن یک منطقه جدا رو هدف قرار بدن. So این رو برای این گفتیم که re-entry توی ذهنتون بمونه. چون هر چیزی که میره بالا دوباره باید برگرده، از جو خارج میشه دوباره باید برگرده و وارد جو بشه. And the entire process is super complicated. So that's why we're talking about that. Re-entry. And payload. Let me quote a very famous sentence.
The shape of the missile top has nothing to do with aerodynamics. It is about the payload delivery.
No, it sticks in the ground and then kaboom.
Yeah, the film show.
Make it pointy.
Yeah.
That's how I like it.
Yeah. It's a bit round at the top. It needs to be pointy.
So the definition of payload is everything else but the rocket
اسم اون
itself.
دانشمندش چی بود؟
I really don't remember.
Nuclear Nadal. He called him.
Yeah.
Nuclear Nadal. Where is Nuclear Nadal?
Because he shoots rockets.
من باورت نمیشه. حالا پیلود رو قبل از این خونده بودم جای مختلف، اما اولین باری که پیلود توی ذهن من استیک شد، یا دقیقاً همونجا بود. بعد ایلان ماسک هم یه جایی اینو راجبش صحبت کرده بود، خیلی بارمک بود.
They were inspired by the design.
Exactly. All right, moving on to the next topic. بریم یه ویدیوی خیلی جذاب رو با هم دیگه ببینیم. طرفدارای سگانه بتمن The Dark Knight قطعاً خوشتون میاد.
Nice ride you got there.
Thanks. It's my getaway car.
That purple suits you nice too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What are your thoughts on me filming you a free video?
I like that. They say the world runs on order, but me, I prefer a little chaos with a fault in gas. Fast, loud, and dangerous. Just how I like it.
So get this, I'm scrolling through Instagram and all of a sudden this Joker video pops up and it's not even Heath Ledger. Right?
You can't believe he's not.
You can't believe. For a minute there I was like, oh, is that Heath Ledger? Is it AI or something?
Reincarnated.
Exactly, but that's not it. He's not in Gotham. He's standing next to a purple Dodge Charger Hellcat. And it's so chaotic even Batman would be concerned. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's not just a vehicle, I would say. It's a statement that you make when you drive that car.
So, who's behind it? یه بلاگر خیلی خوش‌ذوقی به اسم نوا بومن.
He's a content creator.
Content creator, دقیقاً. کسی که محتوا میسازه رو بهش میگیم content creator. So with a serious eye for capturing viral moments. و اون کسی هم که اومده و توی جوکر سوت قرار گرفته هندل اینستاگرامش هست Agents of Chaos, I think. And right. he nailed it. Heath Ledger's voice, his mannerisms, everything. It's just beautiful.
It's flawless.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Reminded me of him.
How did it make you feel the first time you saw it?
It was like looking at him, Heath Ledger, but it's not him. I had mixed feelings, to be happy, to cry, I don't know.
یادم میاد موقعی که راجع به کریستیان بیل صحبت میکردیم و چند تا از اساتید بزرگ بازیگری مثل دانیل دی لوئیس راجع به method acting خیلی بحث میشد. So I'm here to tell you that it's not cosplay, which is a combination of two different words. Costume play. It's not cosplay. It's method acting. انقدر خوب توی نقشش ایمرس شده که نمیتونی تفاوت رو تشخیص بدی. Exactly. Pretty much like Heath Ledger. Of course, he's not Heath Ledger, I know, but this guy's really good at what he does. So it's cosplay. Again, costume plus play. Ham fele, ham isme. You can say that. Like cosplay as someone.
I was amazed as a person who does videography at times. I was amazed at the level of expertise.
And calls himself a videographer.
I'm not an imposter. You should see my videos. But do I have to defend myself on your podcast?
You don't need to defend yourself.
But I understand the enthusiasm behind it. However, I was amazed at the level of expertise that this guy had with the limited equipment that he had, and he shot the video. So he was so faithful.
I think he's got
to the original scene.
Yeah, he's got a drone.
He had a drone. He has a good camera, and the light and everything. I mean, this is where you say like the less is more. He stuck to like certain scenarios. He didn't do much.
These kind of people have the talent. You know, they have only a camera, maybe their cell phones. This guy had a drone.
Yeah, he was well equipped. Let's say he was well equipped.
But they have the talent.
Not cinema level. Not cinema level.
Yeah, no budget.
He was kind of capable of blurring the line between fiction and reality, and that's another thing you guys can learn. We're here blurring lines, blurring the distinction, so you won't be able to tell the difference between fiction and reality, and that's what I like about his videos.
Amazing.
So social media lets people turn the street into a stage, into a movie set.
Right.
And this dude, he took a scene right out of The Dark Knight, and he kind of recreated it, dropped it into real life, and that's the thing I like about him.
That's one of the there are rules to creativity, and one is to actually realize what the original sort of substance is, and then add some little subtle sort of changes to it, and that's what this guy did.
Yeah,
he was so faithful to the original scene, but at the same time, he had his own sort of unique technique to be applied.
Do we call it street cinema?
Absolutely,
I guess we do.
How do we define it?
So when you use real life places like parking lots or anywhere else, just as your scene, and you use maybe normal people.
No studio, no budget,
no staff,
just timing,
no
talent.
Special kind of equipment.
One-man crew.
One-man crew, exactly. One-man crew رو میگیم ارتش تک نفر بچه‌ها. یه چیزی تو این مایه هست تقریبا معادل فارسی.
That's right.
So فوق‌العاده بود این کلیپ. من خیلی دوستش داشتم. Yeah. And that's why I thought maybe we could talk about it. خب بریم سراغ language. Method acting, cosplay, impression.
We also say that we do somebody. That means we mimic the moves, the way they speak, and the voice and everything. That's doing an impression on somebody.
شما این چاینیز ترامپ دیده بودین قبل پادکست دیده بودید؟
نه.
یه یوتیوبر آمریکایی هست به اسم سپید. این پاشد رفت چین، بعد با آدمای زیادی ملاقات کرد. یکی از اونا این بود. A Chinese Trump. اسمشو یادم رفت. But his impression of Donald Trump is so good, it amazes everyone. Spot on. Exactly. Here's something you'd never thought you'd hear today. A Chinese man with no formal ties to the United States whatsoever, but he's so good at doing the impression of the US President, Donald Trump. But in video,
Trumper than Trump.
Some people say bubbles are bad because the economy goes bad when it's full of bubbles. They could be right, but sometimes, you know what, bubbles can be good. Look at this. Today we're at this Chongqing restaurant and we're eating 起泡豆干. It means bubbles on tofu. Look at this. Look at the bubbles on tofu. It means it's well cooked. It's soaked up all the ingredients and all the spices. One of the local delicacy of Chongqing. Have to come and find out yourself. Let's taste it. It's more springy, it's more chewy than regular tofu. You have to find out yourself. It's really nice.
So his real name is Chen Rui, and he's from Chongqing in China. And he tries to somehow promote the city where he comes from.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah, he does that.
Deeply into the character. And he does.
His impression of Donald Trump is like amazing.
Mind
it blows
blowing.
your mind.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
حرکت دستش، حرکت سرش، لحنش، همه چیزش. حتی کچ کردن
His
گردنش.
voice.
Everything. And his voice.
همه چی تو چین پیدا میشه.
And he has never been همه چیز تو چین. کارخونه دنیاست دقیقا. هر چیزی میخواید بسازید بدید دست چینی ها.
Yeah.
They can build it.
It's just amazing. I was amazed at that level of the impression that he does.
And the thing is, he's never been to the US, but his accent is just spot on.
He's Trumper than Trump, I would say.
He's Trumper than Trump.
Right? If there was a competition, who would
Trump 2.0.
I would say he's number one.
Yeah, من خیلی خوشحال میشم اگه ترامپ دعوتش کنه کاخ سفید.
I'd never do that. He likes to be there. But
You know,
he
I
does a
wouldn't
good
do
job.
that. I wouldn't set foot in that place.
Maybe Uncle Duck. That's how you like to do.
خنک سخن.
پادکست خنک سخن.
خنک سخن. All right, so we're talking about levels of detail here. فوق‌العاده است ایمپرشنی که انجام میده و اون چیزی که ما میتونیم تازه زبانم یاد میده مثلا اینکه با استفاده از این ایمپرشن هایی که انجام میده زبانم یاد میده به لوکال کمیونیتی و یک شخص مفیده قطعا مفیدتر از اون چند تا که نشستن توی موشک و رفتن فضا.
Claim to be astronauts.
Yeah, I claim to be astronauts. So we got impersonation. I think you talked about it, right?
Yeah.
The act of copying somebody else's behavior. Right. We have spot on.
When something's precisely the way it should be.
Catchphrase. He knows Donald Trump's catchphrases.
So those phrases that you repeat all the time in your speaking.
Like huge.
The Panama Canal. It's a beautiful canal, but we can make it even more beautiful if we own it. So we're going to buy it from Panama.
We're going to do a good job.
We're going to do
good job, they said. But that's right.
That's
how you like it.
یه لحظه مثلا برای خودش توضیح بیشتر میده. Yeah, it's a good job.
Oh, yeah, right. We're going to do it. Yeah.
Bridging cultures. کاری که ما سعی میکنیم توی کول تاک هم انجام بدیم.
Connecting the cultures.
پل زدن بین فرهنگ ها. Can we say that? Because bridge, hey.
Yeah.
Bridging cultures.
We also say like bridging the gap.
Bridging the gap.
Right? Between generations. Right?
And then something goes viral. مثل این رفیقمون.
Yeah. All over the internet.
All over the internet.
Like a virus, right?
Spreads like a virus.
Everybody's seen it.
All right. I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this podcast on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much for listening to this episode on Castbox. Do let us know what you guys think regarding this podcast. We have covered 3 different sections for you guys, and we would love to know what you guys think about every single one of these sections. Do let us know in the comment section down below. You can do it on Instagram, YouTube, Castbox. So thank you guys so much for showing up.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Just like always, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Ali Nixat here, signing out.